most people asking about how Israeli person with no knowledge of the United States market and especially the Hispanic market coming from all the way from Israel, age 22 and starting something that become one of the biggest Hispanic retailer in the United States. Well, the story goes as I was finishing my military service after a really bad war and bad cynic of the war, I decided that there is no place for me in Israel, and I thought, as the mamas and the papas and the beach boys and so on, that dream of California that never rains in Southern California, to come here and start new life before I'm studying getting my family together and so on. So I came here practically with no money, started a door-to-door sale, and I did not necessarily looking for the Hispanic market. I was looking to survive. And going from community to community, which does not open the door, and the only community that really opened the door was the Hispanic market. And for my first contact with the Hispanic market, it's almost like the Big Bang that started new thoughts of retail. From the first day, I provided credit. I discovered the needs of that community. I discovered how to deal with this community. And to say that I spoke Spanish or English, I did not. I didn't know how to speak none of those languages. I was speaking Hebrew. But really, if you have a good salesman and you're a good person and you really motivated to make the sale happen and you give the extreme service to the customer, you don't need to have language. And the willingness to help the consumer, this is your language. And from the first day, I did that. I gave above expectation to the consumer what he needs. The question of how Israeli guy out of thousands of miles away come to United States age of 22 and he goes and target to the Hispanic market. But the story actually is really different. I came after Yom Kippur War, which was a terrible war. I was a soldier there, and I was tired of war. And age 22, I came to the United States looking for the American dream. I love California, but I couldn't afford to come to California, so I arrived to New York. Took me 6 months to find myself and come driving all the way for servicing somebody's car to bring it here. You may ask, how come Israeli guy discovering this money market? Well, it by coincidence. I came here age 22 after Yom Kippur War, and for the dream of America because it was too much to be in that war. And I came here actually with no money. Um, there is no job for me, and so therefore I decided to sell things door to door. I find the first object that was like a ping pong, and start selling, going door to door selling it. And I went to different communities. None of the communities opened the door, and the only community that really was an old lady in the Hispanic area that opened the door for me. And that the day that I discovered that the existence of the Hispanic market in the United States and the product that appeal to them, the services that appeal to them, the way you need to approach them, the service that customer that might give you hundreds of other customers to that customer because there's so much appreciate what you do for them that they keep bringing you other customers that out of things. So all the discovery happened in one day in the beginning of my days in doing business in the United States. So within that, seed that been created that day, my first contact with Hispanic, the referral of that customer to other customer which were similar Hispanics, and they like my service, my product, and I provide them also the credit. I find the need that credit, and I started improving this model, and improving it, and it was an evolution of retail, which it's a niche in the Hispanic market, and I didn't know how big it is. I know it's big. I see it in the neighborhood. There are a lot of people, a lot of kids. But I didn't know how big. I never studied the demographic. I just know these are people that they easier to deal with. You can trust them. If you give them credit, they would pay their money. So I started developing my concept around that. I never studied retail before, not studied business administration, nothing. Everything on common sense. By improving my concept and by not bringing, in a way, influence from other retailers, but building everything on a common sense, I came up with a lot of good models that fit to that community. Um, Psychology of this consumer, what they think, what appeal to them, what things might trigger the purchase process in their mind, what is the product that they like, what is the ambient that they like to be in, how you can get through that customer to hundreds of other customers. All those issues been improved day by day, and a result from door to door. I went to existing stores, locations with salesman assist, with kind of incentive program that is motivating the salespeople and the consumer to come and shop, and providing above expectation to the consumer that comes in. This model of above expectation is a model that any business can be successful. You cannot be in the market expectation. You have to be ongoing, rediscovering yourself, and to be above expectation. That was I was preaching to my salespeople, to my employees, and for year by year we improved and we grew to be 11 stores from little tiny stores in the beginning, grew up to bigger and bigger store, and we by 2013 we had 350 million, over $350 million revenue. But I see a decline. I see something really happening in the retail industry. A lot of people blame the e-commerce, the effect, but the greater effect actually is the smartphone effect that make easier for everybody to search and find pricing on the spot. So here we are in a situation that a lot of companies are in trouble. We know JCPenney, we know Best Buy been in the past. We know that Sears in trouble. We know that Radio Shack in trouble, Fry's Electronics, and so on. You name it, there are problems in the retail industry. Why is that? Because the retail industry is not ready for that revolution that's happening in that industry. Traditionally, retailers are very high expense comparing it to the e-commerce. And especially in the Hispanic market, the traditional Hispanic market, their expense even higher to the Anglo market retailer. And why is that? Because we're providing so many services like credit, like in-house service, like collection, like taking a customer by hand and teaching them about products and services. All this is costly. There's a price tag to everything. If you have a big department of credit in each store, 20, 30, 40 people, there's structure of manager in that department, there's supervisor, and then you have behind the scene the approvals, the verifiers, the verifying the application, and a lot of systems. Is very expensive, that part. Secondary, the whole issue of collecting payment, cash registers, people behind that, collecting down payment, and so on. The whole structure of salespeople on the floor and their job and the operation people. And taking all those things are so expensive and so complex to deal with that really took us as Curaçao, until I've been there until last year, for 37 years almost of my life to open 11 stores. While you know that this community is huge, 55 million in the United States, the largest Hispanic country after Mexico, and the most money available to spend, the biggest in the world of Hispanic community. It is bigger than Mexico. Hispanic US have more money to spend than the whole country of Mexico, and putting the rest of the countries also. So if you're taking this community, it's 55 million growing 1 million per year, and it's becoming more and more the dominant part of the demographic in the United States. And who's targeting to this community? Practically nobody except Curacao. This is the only company organized that really going after the Hispanic market. And they're not doing it greatly well because the structure of expense. It's really looking in the structure of expense. Curacao hardly making any money on the retail itself. Most money is done in the credit, and that takes overall. So I came at 2010 and kind of view what's going on. Vision that this industry really going to a big problem because of that issue of the smartphones and the e-commerce. I came up with new concept of retail. If you look at what the effect of the e-commerce, the first effect of e-commerce on the retail industry is not the quantity of business that moving to the e-commerce. Probably between 12 to 15% overall of retail can be done online. But the other effect of it is because it's so easy to do e-commerce business, and because the cost of doing business is so low on e-commerce, they allow themselves to be competing in price point. So when a person come and shop on the e-commerce, price is the main thing that you're looking for. And secondary is really convenient because you can do it 24 hours a day. So the price is the point. You just copy paste the model number and shop for the pricing and see which one is cheaper and what is the rating of that company. You can trust it or not, and you make your business. The same effect is really happening on the e-commerce because when on the retail brick and mortar stores, uh, when a consumer walk in Best Buy, okay, he looks at the television. He knows that online he cannot see the difference in the picture of LCD comparing to LED, comparing to plasma, comparing to the 60 hertz or 120 hertz. All those things are online that is there, but he doesn't know really what it does for him. So he walks to Best Buy, get all this information, and then he takes his smartphone and search to see how much does it sell on Amazon or other places. And you see the difference in the prices be. He goes home and he orders it online. So what Best Buy gonna do is reduce his margin. By reducing their margin, the profitability of the retailer is falling down. And the effect on the margin is one of the most devastating thing happen to the retail industry. That's affecting everybody. How companies with a high structure that built by year that grown, and by the way that they did business for years, and certain cases Sears, JCPenney for quite long years, how they can survive in this environment. It's practically impossible unless you go out of it and you build a new type of retail. That's what we did. New type of retail can stand with this low margin issue of electronics and high tech product, and at the same time, bottom line gonna be very healthy and can make money. Okay, how I can came up with this opinion that you know we need new type of retail. You cannot take existing retailer and really adjust it and make it ready for the next generation of retail that can survive this environment of retail. Practically, you have to start completely on a white paper and designing it. And you have to do the systems, that is very important. If it's credit involved, you complete new type of credit that is state of art. And if it's the experience of the store, you have to give that shopping experience that the lady like to do window shopping. No matter what you're gonna do, she's not gonna do all her shopping on the internet. She love to go and shopping. Some men love to do that, and you need that experience also. And then the fun of shopping. You don't find that on the internet. Not the fun, not the experience, not the ambient. And then touching the material, touching and feeling, sitting on a sofa, feeling the diamond ring on your finger, putting the watch on your hand, looking at the screen of plasma LCD or LED, hearing the sound. None of those things really you can do online. So taking all those items and putting it to the extent, to the ultimate of what you can do about it, so the experience of the reader on the floor going to be different experience. It's going to be something that nothing to compare. And then you mimic your price as much as possible to the online price, so the guy that comes in and get the information and you pass him everything is not going to go back home and order it. You actually provide him a device to say, oh, do your price checking right now. So my price maybe be 5% off above the internet, but he will pay the 5%. He will not pay 20% or 30%. So this is the whole concept, and the system is the main thing that I started from. The system that we're designing now is a system of the future of retail. Everything on portable device, everything can be done in one shot. The multitask salesperson. Even we don't call the salesperson because salesperson is not correct. We're not trying to sell and take the money of the consumer. We are there to assist the customer to make the right decision of the product and services that he wants. So we have specialists on the floor. All our people on the floor are specialists. They are credit person sometimes they are sales assistant, sometimes they're helping with repairs, sometimes they're repairing with operation, but they are multitask person. We're not going to let this customer to run. He's not going to go from this salesman to the credit department, wait there another hour, and then come back, and then go back to the cashier to make down payment and wait there in the line another half an hour, and come back and then send him to the wheel call to wait in line to pick up the stuff. We don't do that. We're going to put one person in full solution of the consumer. By doing that, this customer, his time going to be saved, and the rest of the time that he's going to be there because he's willing to be there. It's not because he's forced to be there to finish the transaction. He have a restaurant that he can eat. He can use his credit card and have discounts in that restaurant. He can have his kids having fun with some interactive games. He can look in the environment. He can look on different product shows that's going to be. He can go, if she's a lady, she can have a free makeup and all those things, while other people seeing those people as an example. You're going to see an old lady that coming to teach how to make tamales. She's volunteering her time. We have the full facilities for them to make the demonstration, and she's going to demonstrate. They make it to the second, third generation that don't know how to make tamales, And there is a book there that she can buy, that the consumer can buy, that they can teach how to make the tamales, and all the dishes and the things that she need to cook, that they need to cook, is right there at the same time of the demonstration, so they can charge it to their account and take it. Or the osterizer or a KitchenAid supplier bringing their own demonstration people to make demonstration, and we have full kitchen there. Or if you walk a little bit, you go to area of cosmetic, which is very nice. Is the next one that competing with this approach is Sephora, and we have product demonstration. The lady comes in, free makeup, and that free makeup projected on a screen on the top, so everybody from distance can see that and can come and have. It's part of the ambient and the environment. Same thing with the product demonstration on the tamales or the pupusas that old lady making. projected on the screen on top, close to the ceiling, so everybody from distance can see that. And walking a little bit, some other, everywhere is product demonstration. There is a hub, technology hub. No matter if that consumer bought a computer in Best Buy or Amazon, you can bring it there, and since they don't speak completely English, and they want it to be explained in Spanish, there's going to be a person there, specialist, and going to explain ongoing around the clock different product, how to use those products.
How to
Detalle de sus manos.
Sí.
The highlight of my concept is the hybrid between the e-commerce and the brick and mortar. And the hybrid between, what I mean is how you take the internet environment, the benefit of the internet, and bring it to the brick and mortar. How we do that? Okay, imagine that you online and looking at Sofa Labs. You cannot see the material, you cannot see the fabric. If it's leather, you don't know what type of leather it is. Is it soft? If it's hard? How comfortable is it to sit on it? And a lot of different variety questions that you have in your mind. If you go to the retail store, you can actually sit, feel, touch, get information, much more information that you can see online, and see all kind of services that can be with that. Now, what we are adding to it is a panel that behind that sofa and love seat, that you can see that sofa in variety different colors and variety different setups. For example, with sofa sleeper, or with a recliner, or in blue or red or whatever. Now all those things are sitting not in our warehouse, sitting in the vendor warehouse, and we're tagging through a system of inventory control that work on the portable device of our salesman to the inventory system of the supplier. So if you have a warehouse sitting in City of Industry and you have a 1,000,000 square foot warehouse, but none of the retailers keeping all his inventory on, we in a way capable of keeping that inventory. Our system of the panel that we call it click and more, the click, cut that. I
Okay.
made a mistake there. We call it, so let's start from beginning, not from beginning, from just that part.
Mm-hmm.
So we call that concept brick and click. Brick and click. Why brick? Because we are inside a brick store. And click because of those panels that we have throughout all our stores, and because of the tablet that also is part of this whole system, whole retailing system behind it, the whole EDI that we connected to our inventory of the vendor, and with the cooperation of the vendor selling the product that they have in the warehouse. Practically, we have hundreds of thousands of square foot of ability on a small square footage of 30,000 square foot. So I have 30,000 square foot, but behind every sofa lap seat, sitting inventory 10 times bigger in the warehouse of the supplier that we can tag in. So the consumer, when he comes in, he touch and feel and feel the sofa, sit on it and say, okay, I do have it in red color. And we go through that panel. Yes, looks like we have it in red. You have it in blue. No, we don't have it in blue. We don't have it in pink. We don't have it in purple. We have it in red. We have it in black. We have it in brown. We have it in white. And then we have it in variety different ways. We have it in sofa sleeper. We have it in recliner. And we have it in designer selection. What that designer selection is, the same sofa lap seat that you see on the floor. There is a designer that designed the drapes, the carpet, the lamps, all the accessories, picture frame on the wall, everything ready for you to design completely your living room. Even some packages that come with the electronics. television set of 56 or 60-inch. You can buy everything from $799 that Sofa Lapsit all the way to $3,999 setup. Variety that you can see on that panel. This is in a furniture. Other places like, let's say, jewelry. You come to jewelry and you want to buy engagement ring. We are connected to vendors which they can deliver next day. They have variety of jewelry that a lady wants to buy an engagement ring. She wanted a bigger diamond. She wanted more quantity than quality. She wanted a big ring, diamond, but cheaper because the quality is lower. Yeah, we provide her. We show it on the iPad, on the some device, and then if she like it, next day she come and pick it up. If she doesn't like it when she pick it up, she don't like the design, whatever, she always can return it. So our system of build a lot on special order system, and also that component of credit make it very easy for them. So that give us a lot of ability to use the portion of the customer that they don't find the product and leaving the store to hold them also. From beginning, our price and technology is way affordable, more than any other retailer. Be mimicking the price close to the price of the supply of the Amazon or all the e-commerce. Why we can afford that? Why Best Buy cannot afford it? Because we can have balance of merchandise. There is a lot of margin in different area. You have furniture between 50 to 60% margin, mattress between 60 to 70% margin, gold around 60 to 70% margin, cosmetic 40-50% margin. So you take all those areas the traditional electronic stores don't carry and we carry, and we add those margin together. Overall, the margin is very healthy. Secondary, we don't have the overhead that Best Buy have or Sears have. Our overhead is very little. We don't have a big buying group, buying department, purchasing department, because we're working on with the vendors. We give the vendors the responsibility of the product on the floor. They are providing, they have a window to see their inventory in our system. Daily they can watch that. If our inventory down, they're gonna ship. They have the authority to ship. If this item, the price drop, they immediately do a drop in their system the price so we can have the correct price on the floor. Everything is automated and less as much possible touching human. So our labor cost is down. What else we saving here? When the customer doesn't pass through all these transactions of moving from credit department to the will call area, from there to the cashier and so on, it's not only saving time to the consumer, it's saving us, because I don't need separate credit department. That's salesman, or sorry, we don't call him salesman anymore, that assistant or that specialist that we have on the floor is the credit person, he's a will call person, he's a cashier person, and he's the operation person. All those things in one person. So I have maybe more bodies on the floor, but they are specialists that can deal in with multitask. And that's where we're saving tremendous. By having smaller stores, we also can be in the heart of the Hispanic area. We don't need to go outside, because traditionally neighborhood of Hispanic is very dense. You cannot find 100,000 or 150,000 square foot. 30,000 is more likely you can find, and it's easier to find and to be in the heart of the Hispanic. And then this third part, that is one of the biggest part of this concept, is the way we handling credit. Credit is what made our company successful and unique. We're targeting to 44 million Hispanic consumer out of the 55 million that they are in the United States. Majority of them unculturated, that they need credit in order to buy better product. We also adjusted our credit to a system that can be very fast to approve, very stable, and we're working on two formulas: stability and ability of the customer to pay. We don't have so much limits, but we're definitely looking into stability of the customer, and we're looking in his ability to pay. And if he can, his ability is to pay $200 a month, we're gonna give him enough credit limit to purchase a $3,000 or $4,000 item. We're looking on that, which in the traditional retailer in the Hispanic market, they're looking only on stability. They don't look in the ability of that consumer to buy. So therefore, they are very careful with the limits, and they give $700-800. The $700-800 practically you buy the cheapest furniture or things that you need for your home. We open and using a lot of technology also in the credit. One of the system we use is behavioral social media, and we know that our consumer, the Hispanic market, they are very big in social media. So by having a component of predicting behavior based to their behavior on social media, we can get scoring that scoring is quite accurate to say to the behavior of that consumer. So between those variety of things, the uniqueness on credit, uniqueness of the experience on the floor, the brick and click, which give you beside the 30,000 about 300,000-400,000 of showroom that is digital showroom, the easy in and out of merchandise, the RF control, which is inventory control, that is practically you don't need to count anymore. And between that and the new variety of things that we're doing to cut overhead of the company, I think that's what makes Star Wars one of the uniquest retail, and that's a retail style of the future, because we are lean and very scientifically built to deal with the retail industry of the tomorrow.